Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the future of the water and the wastewater industry. I'm your host, Dave Kosminski, and this is the careers you didn't know about. This is take number 2, and you're not going to hear take number 1. So anyway, with me in the studio, live here in the studio, is a good friend of mine and a colleague from way back, Mr. Steve Melanson. So how you doing, Steve? Sorry about that.
I'm doing great today. Thank you.
Oh, great. I know you've been in the industry quite a few years, and so tell us a little bit about your day job.
Yes, presently I work at Snyder Civil Engineering. Been there almost 7 years. Director of Operations. I oversee almost 50 people dealing with the utilities throughout the state of Connecticut. We do work for Aquarian Water Company, Connecticut Water Company, MDC, and the Regional Water Authority.
Okay, the big 4, as we call them.
Yes,
okay.
yep.
Yes. So in that job, I know a lot of, you not only have the design end, you also have the construction end. So tell us how that works.
Yep. We do pretty much soup to nuts there. We actually, all of our clients, we go out and we can survey a job, design the job, and actually then inspect it. And then we also have a construction firm, also part of the Snyder Civil Engineering, where we can also do design build and do pump stations, anything like that also.
Oh, well, okay. So one-stop shopping.
One stop.
There you go. So now you've been with now what, 7 years now?
About that. Yes.
Okay. So now before you got in with Snyder. Okay, you've been a Connecticut Water employee for many years.
Almost 35 years.
Okay.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about how you got into that.
Well, prior to getting into Connecticut Water Company, I think my love for being in the water industry started when I was 18. I joined the service. I joined the Navy, a branch of the Navy called the Seabees, which is a construction battalion. And my very first job after I got out of engineering school, they sent me down to Puerto Rico and then to Vieques to construct a water tank. So I had my very first job in the military was constructing a water tank.
Okay.
And that was very good. I learned quite a bit, and then I went on to build runways, etc. And then my last job in the service, they sent me to another island called Antigua to actually start from ground up, actually do the surveying and clear the land and get the land ready for the building of a water tank. So my first and last job in the military were water tanks.
Okay.
Then once I got out of the service, I went off to college, and then I had an interview. I sat across the table. I saw a job posting for Connecticut Water Company looking for a young engineer, and I sat across from Vinny Susko.
Aha! Yes, sir.
1982, I looked across from Vinny, and on a Friday morning, and Friday afternoon, he gives me a call and says, "We'd like to hire you." So I took the job, and here I am.
My God. Vinny and I go way back, my God. And after he left Connecticut Water, he went to East Hampton. Was in East Hampton. Now he's retired to the golf course now,
Yes.
I think.
Yes,
pretty much.
He got quite a few of us started there. He did a hiring for quite a few young people. Yep.
Okay, yeah. Vinny, in fact, I think he has... he's both certified in wastewater and water. So and so forth. So now, when you went to college, was your focus on engineering?
Just civil engineering.
Civil engineering.
Yep.
Okay.
I went to Hartford State Technical College.
Okay.
Did 2 years there, and then sort of kind of fast tracked. I got married right after that, had children, and. So it was hard for me to continue to go on to school, just working full days, having a young family and stuff. So I just stayed with the Connecticut Water Company with the associate's degree.
Yeah, oh, that's great. That's there's nothing wrong with that. Obviously, one of the things too that we're trying to promote with the podcast also is. You don't necessarily, to get started in the industry, you don't necessarily have to go to college. You can get in, at entry-level positions, under construction, meter readers, or survey or whatever. So
exactly, I saw so many people come in there in 35 years, just starting out as low-level people as far as meter readers, etc.
Yep.
They work their way up, and some of them get into good management positions.
Yeah, so as far as that goes. Now obviously, in the 35 years, from the standpoint of the size of Connecticut Water, that they have grown exponentially. I think our I think our third guest on the podcast was obviously president of Connecticut Water, Maureen Westbrook, and
Yes.
you guys were down in Clinton, right, the main office as far as that goes, and pretty much serve most of the shoreline, correct?
Yes, it's close to 40-something towns. They're in the north, south, east, and west part of Connecticut. And the acquisitions I was involved with in the 80s and 90s were great. So it was nice acquiring small water systems, building them up, and
Yep.
getting them into DPH standards.
Yes, and then that was, a lot of that acquisitions was, not necessarily by your choice, so
No.
to speak. It was the DPH came in and says, you're taking over this water system, to get it into compliance.
They needed it.
Yeah.
They needed a large company to take them over.
Well, a lot of the small water companies, when I got I've been in the industry with the town of Portland for just south of 50 years now. And I don't know if you remember a gentleman by the name of John Wittenzeller. He used to own probably 30 or 40 small systems, which ended up being campsites and little housing developments and so forth. And then when he left, exited the industry, they were all of those little systems that had to be managed. So that I'm sure that's where a lot of your acquisitions came from.
Yep, quite a few. Yeah, I know John well. He's a character.
Oh yes, he is. As far as that goes, so when you started out with Connecticut Water, what was your job responsibility there?
Started out, there was just a small engineering group up in the northern region.
Uh-huh.
We handled about 13 towns up there, and there was 4 of us in the engineering group. And we just started out mainly with just everyday responsibilities, putting in the design of new services, new water mains.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got lucky enough, and the senior engineer there retired, so I got a pretty good position there, and I became the head engineer in the northern region.
Okay.
And stayed there quite a few years in northern region. Stayed there till almost 2000, 1982 to 2000.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went down to the corporate office and worked in water quality and treatment with Kevin Walsh.
Yes, Kevin. Yes.
Great man.
A great man. Unfortunately, Kevin's no longer with us anywhere, but we do have a phenomenal golf tournament named in his honor.
Yes.
Kevin is a super guy, and so forth. And again, very knowledgeable as far as that goes. Fast forwarding, you as the calendar ticked by and you got almost 35 years, what prompted your retirement from Connecticut Water? I know they picked up an acquisition out in California, correct?
Yep. It was good in 2015. I was 60 years old, so I thought it was a good time to head out.
Yeah.
And then it worked out pretty good. I just took 6 months off.
Yeah.
And then found a good home at Snyder Civil Engineering.
Yes.
And again, another reason that I know you so well is just being in the Connecticut section.
Absolutely.
And I have to attribute being in the Connecticut section at a young age. I just had that life membership award just given to me, and I'd have to say Terry O'Neill was very good to me and keeping me in the section and making sure I stayed involved and joining committees, and eventually I got to the top there, became the chair of the Connecticut.
You became the chair.
Yeah.
What year were you chair now?
2014.
14. So you were
13, 14.
I think you were just before me because I think I was 17. I think I'm not sure.
Chair of the section?
Yeah, because I was chair with when Susan Shabanowski was president of.
That might have been 07.
Oh, could have been. Oh my God, I'm dating myself. Oh my God, unbelievable. Yes. Yeah, the section, I think the Connecticut section is a phenomenal organization. And again, that was one of the things that, I got involved in. I got involved, as conservation chair way back when Mary Ann Dickinson worked for Regional Water Authority. And then she, left and went out to California. And she was the chair of the Conservation Committee. And, back then we were the first state in the country that actually physically handed out conservation kits to all the customers and so forth. So she left, went out to California, and I've been chair ever since. And it's it kind of morphed from the conservation committee into the web committee into the sustainability committee. So to go from there, but it's a great bunch of people, and I think it's a great organization. And to be involved and to build that network and so forth. I know you guys at Snyder are very, very much involved with the section and very supportive of the section as far as that goes. So, going fast forwarding, now you're working for Snyder as far as the jobs, and obviously your familiarity with, Connecticut Water and all of the big four, is obviously a plus,
Very good. Big plus.
and you know a lot of the people.
Exactly. And again, that's all due to the Connecticut section.
Sure.
After being involved in that for 30 years, networking is everything. I tell everybody, all my young people that work for me right now, I tell them just network, network, network. It's the best thing in the world. Get involved with the section.
Absolutely. You never know when you need something or need a resource, and you say, hey, I met this guy or I met that guy and so forth. And, you introduce yourself, and don't be bashful. Introduce yourself, and, because, hey, it works both ways. They call you, you call them, and it's a resource of knowledge, that runs very deep in Connecticut,
I remember Don Snyder, 2010 or 2011, when he went to his first annual conference up at Cape Cod, introducing myself to him, and it was funny just to see somebody that young and that assertive. It was good.
Yeah.
And his networking helped him out.
Sure, absolutely, absolutely. Don is a graduate of Portland High School, as I am, and so forth. I was before him, but he's done very well. He's and gotten into his passion, and he's developed his niche in working those connections and working those resources in his involvement in the section, which has helped him develop his business plan tremendously.
100%.
So what big projects are you working on now?
Right now, in the middle of the summer, we have almost 20 people out in the field right now. During the winter, we do a lot of surveying and design work, and then everybody needs water mains installed. Mm-hmm. So we're out there right now, presently, just overseeing almost 20 projects of water main installations. Mm-hmm. That's just one aspect of Snyder Civil Engineering. Then we have 8 to 10 people in the treatment and design, actually building and designing treatment plant buildings for the various utilities and chemical improvements, whatever it takes. So we're doing well.
Tell us a little bit of how the technology has changed since we both got in the industry from treatment goes.
As far as treatment,
yeah,
treatment. I mean, it's just every year they come up with a different thing that you need treatment for.
Yes.
I mean, when I don't know how old you are, but I mean, PFAS, that wasn't concerned when we started lead and copper.
Yeah.
Fluoride, just the overall, everything now. There's levels, elevated levels of everything in the water right now that needs treatment. Radium. I mean, it's just arsenic. There's always something.
Yes.
Every well has its little niche. Yep. Just
and the DPH is the regulations just keep on coming. And the water utilities have to comply. Obviously you get into a situation with a well that has high iron and manganese, or now with the PFAS issue, everybody's starting to test for PFAS. In fact, I just went to a PFAS webinar, I think Tuesday, yes. I think you were on it too, as far as that. But a lot happening, from a regulatory standpoint. So working with that. Now, as far as, working with the various utilities, I mean, everybody has their niches. I mean, I think Connecticut Water now has 400,000 customers?
I'm not quite sure. I don't know if it's 400,000.
I think between here and California, I think.
Oh, California too, yes.
Yeah, between, okay.
And Maine.
Yeah. Yes, because you guys are up there, and Aquarion has got to be up there too. And
yep, Massachusetts and New Hampshire. They're big.
Yep, and obviously in MDC, there's they're a quasi public regional, as far as that, and also Regional Water Authority down in New Haven. They have. I think they're probably around 400,000 customers, as far as that goes. I think. MDC, I think they serve 8 towns?
I'm not sure how many service towns they have.
Yeah, I think it's, in fact, I'm doing a learn and earn water boot camp for them in July next month, as far as that goes, working with Ray Burrell and his team up there, and again, making students aware of careers that in the water industry as far as that goes. So looking at what knowledge would, or what advice would you give to a high school student, a high school or a college graduate, about the water industry?
Well, pretty good. I do all the hiring there at Snyder Civil, so it works out pretty good. I go to the career fairs, get everybody in, and on board. And the last couple of years, we've hired 8 to 10 new college graduates here.
Okay.
And I push it immensely. As soon as they graduate college to take their FE tests.
Okay.
So then eventually in 4 years after that, working for an engineering firm,
okay,
that they can go get their PE.
Yep.
I as far as a college graduate, I stress that. I said, because once you get your PE, you can go work.
Opens your doors.
Opens your doors. It's like having your, being a doctor or getting your CPA or,
sure,
being an attorney. You work for a town, public works director, town engineer, any utility you want. It open doors. But you don't have to have a college degree. We have a half a dozen people that don't have college degrees that work for us, and there's so much to do in the water industry.
Sure.
Just with the infrastructure changing,
right.
It needs to be upgraded annually.
Yep.
There's plenty of work to do.
Right. Now, do you have any certified operators that work for you guys?
Just me.
Just you. Just you. Okay.
It's not really a big demand, and as far as we're concerned. Yep.
Oh, okay.
I mean, yep. I guess I could always, if I needed, I could call Paul Radici.
Yes, Mr. Radich. Yes. In fact, did he retire from Connecticut Water?
He did retire Connecticut Water.
He's still doing his own thing a little bit, doesn't he?
Yes. Yep. So he still has a little LLC work with backflow, and he's got about 30 systems that he
manages.
Yep.
Yeah. Paul and I go back a lot. In fact, Paul always used to come up and teach and speak to my water and people class all the time.
Yeah,
and so forth. A great guy.
Another good guy. All just the networking that we do it's worth it.
Well, exactly. And those names that Terry O'Neill. I mean, God, he was a real
legend
in the industry at Connecticut Water, and it was just to get to know him, and he opens a lot of doors.
And if it wasn't Terry pushing me in the Connecticut section, it was Dan Lesneski.
Yeah. And
Dan made sure that my path was going, and he just kept pushing me and eventually I got to the top, so it worked out well.
Yeah. Now, does Dan work for Snyder too, or
no?
No. Okay.
No. Dan's golfing.
Dan. Well, that was always one of his passions. In fact, you guys are golf partners for a long time. My God,
yes.
Getting out there on the weekends and so forth. But that's good. So, anyway, hey, on a personal note, okay, tell us a little. How many kids you got? Where?
Okay. Again, I got married at a young age. I guess now it's young. It's 25. Having kids at 26 and 27.
Okay.
So I've got 2 daughters. The oldest daughter went to school at Northeastern. Stayed up in Boston. Married a guy from Medford.
Okay.
And she's got 2 kids.
And
I had another daughter. I must have done something right. She went off to school at Salve Regina down in Newport.
Okay.
She married a guy down in Newport. Has 2 kids. So doing good. They both stayed to where they met their husbands, and doing well. And they come home on weekends just to see myself and my wife Lori.
Keep in touch with the rents.
Oh yes.
Now, do you babysit the grandkids?
Oh yeah.
That's half the fun.
But my wife does it a majority of the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. So anyway, okay. So one of the things, obviously, my passion. I mean, I have deep roots in the music industry. So I always throw in a question. Okay, what's your favorite album? Do you have any favorite albums?
It would definitely. I've started at a really young age. I'm a big George Thorogood fan. I think
yes.
I think I've done 10 or 12 concerts.
Bad to the bone.
Yeah. Yeah. It just it's always been my person of choice. Yes.
Now was that the first concert you ever attended?
First one was Three Dog Night.
Oh, okay.
Three Dog Night. think 1972, down at Dillon Stadium. I don't know if you know where that is.
Sure. Yeah, that's where the Hartford soccer team.
Soccer team plays. Yeah.
I can remember seeing the Rolling Stones there. The Rolling Stones played that.
Yeah.
So back in the day. Oh my gosh. Okay. So if you got stuck on a desert island, you only could have I call it the Desert Island album. What album would you listen to?
Oh, Desert Island album.
Would it be Thorogood?
Yeah, it would definitely be one of his. I don't know what album. Another person I do like. It could be Stevie Ray Vaughan also.
Oh yeah. Okay, there you go.
That probably
Texas
be a
Flood.
Stevie Ray Vaughan album.
Yes.
That's what I like to play before I go golfing.
There you go.
Yes.
Get the juices flowing.
Yes,
Get those endorphins going.
Does.
So, okay. All right, last question. Okay. If you got stuck on a desert island, what food could you eat every day?
It'd be a cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger in paradise.
I don't know. Just nothing better than a cheeseburger.
There you go.
Did you ever see anybody eat a cheeseburger and wasn't smiling? Let me know.
Okay. Well, hey, have you tried the new the cheeseburger heaven out where the old Dairy Queen is in Portland here?
I have.
Okay.
It didn't impress me.
It didn't impress you. Okay.
No.
Okay. I know people. I've heard it impresses people.
Yes.
I guess they're a little bit pricey, but as far as that goes. But okay, cheeseburgers work.
Yep.
That's for sure. So anyway, anything. So advice to young college students again. What would you give?
Yeah, there's so much room for advancement and a good career. Like I was just telling people, town of Portland, they were down putting a catch basin in there next to our office there. If you can get a job, just keep your nose clean, keep your head down, and just do a good job. I mean, the water industry, there's so much to do.
Sure.
All the water utilities, the contractors are always looking to hire people.
Yeah.
The water industry, and the water industry has good people in it.
Yeah. And the good thing about the water industry, or whatever, it's not an industry that you can outsource. Okay?
No, it's going to be there.
You're gonna need boots on the ground. You gotta keep the water flowing, keep the fix the leaks, put the mains in, and to go from there. But it's not something that you can outsource offshore, and like a lot of tech companies do with their tech support and so forth. You're calling somebody, you're talking to somebody in India. As far as that goes, it doesn't happen in the water industry.
I tell everybody that works there that it's the only utility that you ingest. I mean, anybody can do telephone or cable, but when you have to ingest it and you're ingesting and putting it in your body, it's got to be perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's why we got to do a great job.
Well, and the thing is, a lot of times from a standpoint of customer service, and so people take water for granted. You do. You turn on the faucet and it comes out, but people don't realize the mechanism that makes all of that happen. From whether it's reservoirs or whether it's wells, and the people that manage it, run it, disinfect it, design it. And again, from a standpoint of careers, I mean, you've got customer service people, you've got meter readers, you've got HR people, you've got accountants, okay, you've got lawyers, you've got engineers, okay. So there is not a shortage of, the type that umbrella is very, very big in the water industry.
Lots to choose from.
Yes, exactly. So anyway, all right, ladies and gentlemen, Steve Melanson, okay, is here. He's in the house, and again, Steve, thank you so much for coming down and sharing your story and how you got into the water industry and so forth. So I appreciate it, and so until next time. That is the future of the water and wastewater industry and the careers you didn't know about. And with us today in the house is Mr. Steve Melanson, okay, from Snyder Civil Engineering, also originally from Connecticut Water Company. So, Steve, thanks so much for coming down, and
You're welcome.
Say hello to Donnie when you get back to the office.
Will do.